Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Now, a friend of mine, actually one of my subscribers, sent me this article from the Silver Phoenix 500 and he thought I would like it. And by the way, if you guys ever find any interesting stuff you want me to cover, email me at silverfiend21@gmail.com. It's in the description as well. But I always love seeing new articles, finding new articles, or even just video ideas. You know, if you have a question or something you think I haven't talked about enough or covered, you shoot me an email. It's the best way to do it. So this is a really good article. Not only it talks about the silver price update, but the end of a mining era, and it goes over the history of mining. And if you guys don't remember, I posted a 3-part video series talking about the silver production, how much silver is being produced in the world, who's producing it, and then also the amount of silver being cut back is unbelievable. The top 3 silver producers, Mexico, Peru, and Chile, all abandoning silver mines, finding it by bypassing product by accident, basically. And it was a really interesting article and figuring out why they're doing this and to what extent, what rates. It was really cool, and this kind of covers that, but also goes into the historical, patterns of it and everything else that falls below that. So I think you guys will enjoy this. The link will be in the description if you want to check this article out for yourself. But let's jump into it. So since my last video update, the silver price has consolidated to a lower level. While I wasn't surprised to see silver continue to correct, I believe it's only temporary before it begins a new leg higher. And if we look at the COT report for silver, there are some positive signs going forwards. But before I provide a preview of my latest video update, I wanted to clarify my position on technical analysis. There seems to be a large group of precious metals investors that have a negative knee-jerk reaction when I post some charts on technical analysis. They say it's a waste of time to consider technical analysts when the market is rigged or controlled by the Bullion banks, JP Morgan, the Fed central banks. So he's saying there's no point to look at these daily charts because it's all in a bubble. It's all being controlled behind the scenes with JP Morgan doing spoofing, placing false buy orders, and etc. So while the new and long-term followers are free to post any comments they desire about the pros and cons of technical analysis, my reason for doing so is that traders are looking at and it's expecting going forwards. Traders, hedge funds, and large institutions all follow technical analysis, and right now they are leading drivers of silver price. However, the patterns will not provide the ultimate fundamental value for when silver and the Fed banks lose control over fiat monetary system and economy. Yes, at that point, technical analysis won't matter, but we aren't there yet. So, that's an interesting thing to say because it is interesting. You know, I do read a lot of this chart stuff and it does give direction and it can definitely give you guys an inside scoop on what's going to be happening. But also there's another factor that's influencing the prices as well, which is the economy, what's happening with the US-China trade wars, Federal Reserve cutting interest rates, Hong Kong protests, the Iran tensions, stock market volatility. But also the people behind the scenes moving the prices with large amounts of money, like JP Morgan, the Merrill Lynch's, all that stuff, all of that. It's all combined, it's all intertwined, and I think that it all is affecting prices to some extent, and that's why prices are so volatile right now. There's so much volatility in the precious metals market. So anyways, so he goes on to say, and so instead of precious metals investors becoming frustrated because they believe the silver price should only go up in one direction, which is not true in my opinion. Well, a lot of people do want that to happen, but that's not healthy for any market. You never want a market to just keep going up, up, up. That's extremely dangerous, and that means a huge crash is going to happen. So he goes on to say, thus, if it falls back down to certain key technical levels before moving higher, you can take it or leave it. It's that simple. However, some individuals might be savvy enough to trade precious metals and make good money doing it. Good for them. I see no problem whatsoever with individuals profiting off precious metals trading, which is talking about the ETF side of it, or the day traders, marginal trading, where you can go off of the volatility right now and make money, but a lot of people are in this for the longer term and they are not doing that. So on the other hand, I challenge anyone who says the technical analysis is worthless. Then why have the gold and silver bottom very close to their cost of production? For all those Bixware aficionados who agree with them, the Fed central bank pushed the price of gold and silver anywhere else, please, then why isn't the price falling considerably below the cost of production? The detractors don't seem to provide a good alternative answer. So then he goes on to say, At the end of the video, he previews the end of the silver mining era and what it means going forward for silver market and price. I don't believe any precious metals investors realize just how important the mining of the gold and silver were in the development of countless numbers of western towns in the United States. Yes, it's true that there are plenty of ex-mining ghost towns that dot the landscape, but they have become very large cities due to the mining of gold and silver today. So this is the largest silver nugget ever mined. It weighed 1,840 pounds, contained 93% pure silver, smuggled in 1894. This was a smuggler mine in 1894. Look how big that thing is, though. Holy crap. So, this was a single nugget weighing 1,840 pounds, came from a smuggler mine in 1894. Supposedly, the original nugget was even larger, but had to be broken into pieces and removed from the mine. According to historical data, the silver nugget was 93% pure silver, so if we do a little bit of simple math, the nugget's ore grade was approximately 27,000 ounces of pure silver ton, and that's the largest primary silver miners today are producing 10 to 12 ounces per ton. In doing some historical research, it wasn't out of the ordinary for ores in different parts of these silver mines to be averaging 50 ounces per ton or even higher. I've seen many historical accounts showing 200 ounces of silver per ton, which is the population of many of these early mining towns goes from 10,000 to 20,000 in a decade or less. So the end of the early silver mining era came right at the time the world ramped up oil production. Without rising oil production, the production of silver and gold would have declined considerably, as the world would have eventually run out of supply from high-grade mines. So today the world seems to have taken oil for granted, which I definitely agree. There are thousands of energy workers in each barrel of oil, thus the silver mining industry today would produce a fraction of the global silver without oil. In the upcoming video, I provide some very interesting information on that. So that's an interesting point. I've talked about this before because you need oil to be digging the silver out of the ground, and that is all intertwined as well. It's not only just, the economic aspect of it, or the political standpoints, or the banks behind the scenes, the central banks that are influencing prices, but also we see oil, something that's needed to dig, the machines to be digging this stuff out of the ground as well, is all intertwined as well. So there's so many different factors that sometimes we don't even think about that could be influencing silver's price. And we actually saw the oil fields from Saudi Arabia getting attacked, and the installations are going to be taking several months now. They thought it was only going to be several weeks to be installed or fully installed, but it's actually going to take several months, and it's actually a lot bigger of a project that they were assuming, or that they hoped for. So this is also hurting oil prices as well. Well, actually, it's helping it because it's shooting the price up higher, because people are seeing that it's going to be more precious and be harder to be producing. So that's also going to be affecting silver's prices as well. So that's something interesting to think about. When that happened, when I was covering it, I was curious, because at such a big, when something that drastic happens, it's hard to really predict the time frame. Right after it happened, you can't really give an accurate time frame on how long it's going to take, because you still have to analyze and look over the data and the damage that was done. So since that happened, a lot of people were thrown off guard, but people were obviously trading oil as well. So for people that are into that market, how much of the information are you using? Are you looking at it just from a chart-based perspective, or are you looking at the details behind the scenes, the context, and are you applying that with silver and gold as well? Are you one of these people that read charts and actually analyze the economic, what's going on in the world, or are you doing it simply just from the numbers? Because if you learn how to apply both together, I think you can really get some accurate results. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do, is look at the patterns, look at the charts, but also look at the information, what's happening in the economy. Are US and China renegotiating? Because that's highly going to affect prices. What's going on with oil, what's going on in the world, everything, the dollar index, all of this stuff can be incorporated and fused together to really get some accurate results. I actually made a video a couple weeks ago talking about the 15 tools I use to predict silver's price, and I literally went over about 15 different things I use to, whether it's surplus, whether it's supply and demand, whether it's the dollar strength, whether it's the economic insecurity happening, whatever the case is. I went over 15 things, and I think you guys would definitely need to check that out if you haven't, especially if you are in it for the shorter term trading aspect of it. But But yeah, I think this was a good article. Like I said, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out yourself. Make sure to like this video if you thought it was cool. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like the videos. It definitely helps me figure out which videos are which type of content you guys like watching. Whether it's more chart stuff, whether it's more article stuff, whether it's more tips and tricks in your stacking journey, whether it's prices, whether it's my perspective on silver's price moving forwards. Just let me know, because that's how I can how I can base a lot of my content. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Make sure you subscribe, because I do post daily videos. I posted a video earlier today as well, completely different content from this. So I think you guys will enjoy that. It'll be in the top left hand corner if you want to check that out. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.